Oxygen versus Team Liquid. We are now a Jesse-less stream. Apologies for that, but we're still going to bring you some great Rocket League action.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if everybody have a mass request for Cuxer97 cam over now on your channel. He's a pretty popular player as well. You might have heard of him. And this is not just exciting because we're getting to watch Cuxer play Rocket League once more. Also, another rivalry. You know, Dignitas versus Astral's a pretty big one, but so is Oxygen versus Fruity, as he used to be on this roster. So, chance for Fruity to get some revenge against his former teammates, or a chance for Oxygen to show why he was replaced from the roster. Apart from the fact he doesn't speak French.
Right. Yeah, the French connection always being one of the big reasons that the French players like to stick together. And, you know, I have to say, from my daily life in France, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I have trouble buying groceries, let alone doing professional Rocket League comms.
It's interesting that BDS, one of the best teams this season, they have a bit of a language barrier. None of them are native English speakers. Nice shot by Fruity here. Of course, Cuxer with a spot-on pass as well. But that's how most of these passing plays happen at the highest level. Fruity just landed in that position off a 50-50, and Cuxer spotted his recovery, played it right into his path. That's 1-0 to Team Liquid. You know, I was going to mention BDS. They've got two French players now. Extra, I think Extra's got the best English in the team. But Monkey Moon's English apparently isn't that great. I think it might be another case of a French player saying he's not very good at English, but they're actually really good at speaking English. And marked by 8 as well. He's Spanish, so he obviously doesn't speak French. And his English is not native either. So they have Rocket League comms pretty much. That's their conversation together. Just you, me, and no boost. That's all they need.
And, well, they are winning right now, so everything is good. But if you take winning out of the equation, I'm not sure what they would tell you about their comms being great and being just fine, right?
Yeah,
you know,
true.
Everything's chill when everybody's winning. You know, it doesn't really matter.
It's great. I mean, yeah, they could probably say anything they want because they're not going to understand each other. So
True.
It's just like, you know, what do you say to a 500-pound gorilla? Whatever you want. He doesn't have a clue what you're saying. You can call him all the names you want. At least that's what they want you to think. You take them out of the cage and you realize, wait a minute, he's understood every single word. Now he's going to rip my arms off. Speed 2-0. Fruity with the pass this time. Team Liquid are connecting very, very well in this final third of the field. That's beautiful.
Sort of poor clear here from Astral.
Yeah.
You know, you don't expect to see that from him very often. And maybe a little bit of a panic option, got rid of the ball, or he could have expected actually a 50-50 with Cux, but he beat Cux to the ball and the ball dropped down low and they found themselves in a bad situation. But besides that, Oxygen looked to be playing pretty well. They were able to overcome, you know, last round and take that game against Jesse, which, you know, that's an underdog victory for them. That was not the expected result, so that's good news.
It's hard to come back after beating Jesse and, you know, still have the drive to play lesser players. Like, you know, they've already taken down Jesse Esports. Now they have to play against Team Liquid. They're probably thinking, you know, what's the point? What does it matter? We've already basically played the grand final today. And now they've got to just remember that, you know, other teams in the region do exist, and they can't all have Jesse. Jesse can only play for one team according to the rules. If he was able to play for all the teams at the same time, I'm sure he would. But that's not, it is not allowed. For a good reason, you know, you can't have every team dominating.
It's always weird to see what should be true grand finals in the very first round.
Yeah.
You know, and maintaining motivation after what should be grand finals through the rest of the night can be difficult. But we'll see if Oxygen can persevere. I mean, they can at least set their sights on playing Jesse one more time.
True. We actually had Jesse swing by the Oxygen breathing room between this series and the last one to inform us that we will be seeing him again in the grand final. So that is just a huge vote of confidence for Oxygen. Jesse predicting that they are going to make it into the grand finals to play against Dignitas. You know, when the best player in the region, best player in the world probably is saying things like that about you, you know you're doing something right.
We had a chance to ask him some questions You know, he hasn't been streaming that much except for this week lately. And, you know, the thing I found most interesting about that conversation with Jesse wasn't, you know, like why he's good at Rocket League or all these things, but just the amount of time that he's devoted to working on COVID-19 vaccines was truly inspiring.
What a man. What a wonderful man. Jesse just carrying in and out of the game. And, you know, Godspeed to him. The faster that comes through, the faster we're going to have Rocket League lands again, which I'm sure is what Jesse's thinking about.
Got a question in chat about which Lord of the Rings character would Jesse be. And I'm having a hard time thinking past Gimli here.
Gimli. Interesting. Gimli is very competitive. He's absolutely hilarious. And, you know, despite the character being short of stature, I think the actor was in fact one of the tallest in the cast. So that makes sense for Jesse, who's such a huge player in every sense of the word.
And you know, I think the character was pretty thick as well. with two C's. Two C's, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, look at this mind game by Farah. Just lets the ball drop down. And who's own goaled this? Who has put it into their own net? Was it Cuxer?
It was Farah.
Oh, it was Farah. Oh my goodness. On my POV, he wasn't even there. I thought Cuxer own goaled. I thought it was just like Farah, you know, one of those situations where Farah got the last touch, and then you know, an Oxygen player barely missed the ball, and a Team Liquid player just drove right into it. But no, it was actually just Farah all along. I'm gonna need to head to the optometrist so that I can get a monocle sorted for me.
For what was how many games there from Jesse?
Yeah, I mean, the real issue is, you know, Jesse's passes were perfect, but the off-the-ball movement by Yukio and Jaria's was not up to the same level, so there was a clear disconnect there. They weren't able to synergize. But for Team Liquid, they don't have a star player of Jesse's caliber on their team, which is kind of an advantage because now all the players are more close in skill. So although the passes aren't that great, their positioning off the ball is also, you know, suboptimal. So it actually works out. It's one of those cases where, you know, just having three players who are equally worse when you compare them to Jesse might actually be helpful in the short term.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, for sure. I have a hard time thinking that anybody else would see it any other way.
Yeah. Although we were actually talking, we were wondering if there's anyone, you know, tuning in for the first time to the series, you know, thinking, what are these guys talking about? Jesse's not carrying like that, but little do they know, he actually is. You just haven't been paying attention close enough. That, like, we are spitting facts here. You know, we're only scratching the surface. This is the tip of the iceberg of Jesse's brilliance that we're able to notice. Most of his work goes completely underappreciated and unappreciated.
Yeah, unless you're playing RuneScape.
Yeah, then he, you know, he demands appreciation for his actions. He's running the server.
All right, Oxygen battling off Liquid for a while here, but then the demo comes through. Farah finds himself murdered on the back line by Speed, and Fruity puts the ball away.
And that is actually a clear example of the failure to adapt after playing against Jesse to now playing against Speed. Farah was expecting Speed to jump and go for a jumping demo on him, and to counter that, he stayed on the ground to try and mind game Speed, because obviously that's what Jesse would have done. Jesse would have thought 5 steps ahead and gone for the jumping demo, but Speed isn't thinking like that. He just sees Farah and he's just driving into him, you know, just total tunnel vision. So Farah's really got to remember, you're not playing against Jesse anymore. You're not playing against this really incredibly smart player who's going to predict your movement and jump into the same position. You're playing against Team Liquid. You're playing against Speed, who is just ball chasing, and he's car chasing. You have to move out of the way.
Yep, you got to stop thinking, you know, 200 IQ plays and start thinking about 50 IQ plays.
Yep, they've got to, like Jesse was trying to do in the last series, got to dial it back a little bit. I think now it's Oxygen who are playing on too high of a level. They have to just lower the Rocket League IQ just simplify and succeed.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Exactly. Who is Jesse? Listen, if you have to ask who is Jesse, you're in the wrong stream. You are in the wrong stream. But only because you need to go to the Dignitas watch party and watch Jesse play. Like, what are you doing here? If you've never seen Jesse play, go watch him play right now on the Dignitas viewing party.
I'm actually confused at how many viewers we have right now.
Yeah, I thought they'd all be watching Jesse. Jesse must have given us a shout out. I probably typed our Twitch channels out in the game chat.
It's very nice of him. Very nice thing for him to do. Ooh,
wow.
Banger of a shot by Speed, but just a little bit too far. A little too much juice on that one. Now Liquid is marching down the field with the greatest of speed and a flick over the top. Keeping the edge of our seats here.
He was so close to making a really cute save here. He just got on the wrong side of the ball, unfortunately. He tried to double touch it to the side of the goal. Pretty close. It was the only thing he could go for in that position. There was no time to waste. But yeah, the ball was just a bit too far across the goal line, so his own goal. Team Liquid are playing very well right now. The synergy is clearly there. They're making some brilliant passing plays, solo plays coming through as well. But most importantly, and you know what's really been a struggle for Team Liquid this season, their defense is fully functional. They're making some early interceptions on every play, and they're not double committing. They're not panicking, which is contrary to what Oxygen have been doing. A couple of panic clears in game 1.
And Liquid's passing the ball, moving nicely, playing well in defense. I mean, they're really holding Oxygen here. I guess was Oxygen score? Did they score in the last game? Yeah, they did. Finally,
yeah, they got one goal.
They have one on the board. And you know, at the very last second, probably fair to say that
there he is.
There we are on the board finally. Thank you for ruining that train of thought completely, Oxygen players. Just as I'm about to finish it.
Yeah, Farah, just like last game, getting that close range shot to the back of the net. Still a winnable game, unlike last game where they were only able to get that consolation goal. Now, some time remaining. And Chaussette has a free pass out of defense. Farah decides to shoot it, but that's probably not the right option. It's all too easy for Speed to collect.
Fruity goes up and stops that pass from moving forward. Chaussette with the 50-50 in the corner here. And that ball needs to make its way into front of the net if Oxygen is going to score it. Oh, that was a close one there. Farah catches it. How long can he keep it up? Not very long. Or not long enough, I guess, is probably the right way to say that. And that's going to be game number 2 for Team Liquid.
Team Liquid. There's an accent for everyone.
100%. We are on Astral Cam, the most mechanical cam you could ever hope for over here as he air dribbles into the front of the net and takes a 50-50 with Cux. Most weeks when we don't have Jesse on, this is usually the cam that people are, you know, most excited for.
True,
but
yeah.
Second place isn't bad.
Yeah, he has to just accept that he's not the most popular player in the grid anymore, because Jesse's graced us with his presence. But, you know, getting to be second best to Jesse is still something I'm sure Astral will be extremely proud of. Was it Astral or who tweeted GGFS at Jesse on Twitter after that series?
It was, yeah.
It was, yeah.
Sign of respect, obviously.
Absolutely, paying homage to Jesse's clearly superior end of game call, which I still don't know what it means, but it's got to be good. Should settle in at the back here. That's a brilliant touch, so he can catch up to it a second time. I am still very impressed with what Team Liquid are bringing to the table here. You know, in a way, pressure's off them. Unlike Oxygen, they've fallen on the wrong side of the top 16 seeding for the RLCSX Major, #1 for EU. Team Liquid will not be present there, which is a huge surprise. Such an impressive team, such impressive players, but just not good enough this season in the regional events, which is unfortunate because I'm sure a lot of you guys wanted to see them play. But they'll be back next season. And maybe they'll be able to make a better run of the grid from the start as well, so they can keep their chances alive through that, which, you know, they're also, I guess, fighting for, are they fighting for relegation in the grid? They might be, actually.
A lot at stake here in week 9. A lot to figure out. And Oxygen definitely on their last life here in this matchup. They really need to figure things out. They still don't seem to be able to break through the defense like they normally would be able to. And something missing from their team play on the offensive side of the ball.
That was a great back pass by Cox, so clearly he was watching the series that we just casted before this, inspired by Jesse's constant back passes. And open nets as well. You know, they're making sure to call all these out as early as possible. But definitely the best showing that Oxygen have had in this series. So another reminder for the format for anyone new watching tonight. The winning team here will advance to the top 8 playoffs for this evening. The losing team will go down to the lower bracket where they will have one more chance at getting into that top 8.
Ooh, nice pass here towards the middle from Farah, and Astral catches the save rebound there, sends it to the middle. It's not making its way into the net though. It's just poor attempt after poor attempt. Honestly, it doesn't really feel like Team Liquid needs to worry. That was the closest they've gotten so far, but again, it didn't seem to put enough pressure on Team Liquid.
It looks like Oxygen are ramping up though. They're starting to connect their passes together. This is dangerous. Speed with a double touch. Oh, he's just missed it. That would not have been saved. No way were Oxygen going to keep that one out had he hit the target. More importantly, by the way, I've just heard news that Jesse Esports are sweeping Triple Trouble. So it begins the Dignitas run to the grand finals.
Until we meet again. Again, these offensive rushes here from Oxygen just don't feel lethal like they normally would, and we've got only a little bit of time left in this game to get that goal on the board. Obviously, we could go to overtime and win in overtime, but I think these players probably want to secure this win sooner rather than later.
I would agree. They're going to try and push for that early goal, but Oxygen's overtime record has been decent. Oh, that's a double miss, though. And that's a shot saved by Farah. And so now double touch step by Cuxter. Triple off the bar and now out for Oxygen's counter. Astro with a chance to make something happen. He's got the reset. Goes for the air dribble. Speed knocks it into the ground. What a flurry at the end there for both teams.
I mean, Farah and Chaussette just playing out of their minds there to keep that ball out of the net. They just, I think, were a little too thirsty for that goal and moved a little too far forward. And now they find themselves under attack once again. Astro with a touchdown field, but easily handled by Cux. Now it's a battle at midfield to see who gets to make the next push for a score.
Easily the best game for Oxygen out of the 3, but Team Liquid hang on. They haven't been leaking easy goals, which is usually something we see from them. And it's unfortunately how they bombed out the last regional. Their defense was completely shambolic, but tonight it's been an organized and calm affair with very few goals being scored against them.
Astral onto the ceiling, creating offense where you didn't know it could be created. But Liquid does the smart thing and gets up quickly to deny him. That ball was pinching middle, but Farah had to rotate all the way back. There wasn't enough boost left on that half of the field.
Wow, confirmation coming through. Jesse Esports 3-0 against Triple Trouble, and Bluey has Jesse smashed his keyboard into 5 pieces. Meanwhile, Oxygen Team Liquid plays on.
Oh, that's trouble.
Not for
right
long.
there.
Speed 1-0 in OT. Oxygen can't let that happen. It's just bounced across the box. Chaussette out of position. Ferrat unable to back him up. And a great bump opens up the net for a 3-0 lead. Quite funny there that the observer was credited with the goal in the replay because somebody left the game. Not sure how that happened. Well done. Team Liquid advanced to playoffs with this sweep. That's some nice revenge for them because Oxygen have been beating them the majority of the time when they play in the grid this year.